Hi, I'm Teresa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing another book haul. It's only been a month since my last one, but apparently retail therapy was the only thing that could get me through the end of uni. And I also got some lovely things sent to me, and my friend was getting rid of some books very cheap, and then they were just there and then I had to get them. So I have got a fair stack of books. I didn't even attempt to pick all of them up for the thumbnail. I think I got about half of them. There's a lot and they are very heavy. And just very quickly before this video starts, I want to say apologies for the lighting. I think it's going to be terrible. It's a dark and horrible and gloomy day in Scotland and I can't really do anything about it. And secondly, I just want to say a huge thank you because I am officially monetized, which is very cool, and I'm just so grateful for everyone who's watched my videos and continues to watch them, for helping me get to this point. And so yeah, you will be seeing ads on my videos from now on. There shouldn't be too many. I've realised that when you do it just automatically, YouTube puts heaps on. So I'm going through all my videos and manually removing most of them, so sorry if that's going to take a wee while if you're looking at my backlist, but this video and all my most recent ones have all been done, so you should be fine. But yes, without further ado, let's just get started. So very quickly, I just want to talk about a couple of books that you will have already seen, and these are the ones I bought for my Reading Twitter's favourite sapphics reading vlog. So we have got The Locked Tomb, first two books. I call this a duology in one of my videos, by the way. It's a trilogy. So I've spoken about these extensively on my channel recently, and I just adore both of these with all of my heart and cannot recommend them enough. I've actually already read them, which is always very good because I have a bad habit of buying books and leaving them for years. But this is Lesbian Necromancers in Space, featuring a magical competition. It's gothic, it's sci-fi, it's horror, there's some like fantastical elements. It's so much fun. It's got this like dark kind of hot comedy and humor to it as well. Amazing character dynamics. Cannot recommend it enough. Gideon has become a new favourite for me. I am absolutely obsessed and cannot wait to read the third book. Just look at that cover. Look at both of those covers. I love them so much. Next up, also for that video, was On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. So this is a graphic novel. It's set in space. There's found family. There's no men. It is a wonderful time. This is like a second chance lovers romance, but in space. And it's very fun, very cool. It's got the most absolutely gorgeous, stunning art and the colour scheme and everything. Again, I just love it so much. I've spoken about it a bit because obviously I read it in my vlog, and I do just love it so much. It's so beautiful. So next up I want to talk about the books that I have been sent. So this includes both review books and books that I've been sent by my lovely friends. So first up is The Way to the Stars by Kate Ancrum. My friend Evie sent me this. She's amazing. She's on all the other book social media as well. I'll link her down below. And she's just absolutely lovely, and she sent me this as a kind of welcome to TikTok, and thank you. So this one I'm very excited to read as well. This is a contemporary, it's YA, it's sapphic, it's space gaze, there's found family as well, you know, like there's a theme here, and it just sounds very good. I've heard such high praise for this and I cannot wait to pick it up. You've also got like a butch main character, which I just love, and Kate Ancrum wrote The Wicker King, which is there behind me, and it is so good, and I cannot wait to just read more of her writing. And I just look at it, look at this cool spine as well. I'm just very excited to pick this one up. Thank you again, Evie, for sending me this. Next up, I have got Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald, and the lovely Kim from Read by Starlight sent me this as a Lesbian Visibility Day present. So thank you very much, Kim, for sending me this. I'm so excited to have the Tiny Chaos lesbian book in my hands. So this is a YA fantasy. It's the first in, I believe, a duology. The cover for the second was just revealed, and very pretty. And this follows a main character called Emanuela, and she is just cunning and ruthless and doesn't really care, and she's very much out for herself, and this can possibly come at the expense of everyone living on her island nation, as she discovers she has this mark of like a plague, and everyone who gets that has to be obviously taken away, and she decides to hide it and instead marry for richness and I love that for her. Just, I love ruthless lesbians, and I'm very, very excited to read this one and to love her too. And then next up is actually a book that appeared in my last haul, and that is Malice by Heather Walter. So I've now got the lovely, beautiful finished copy, which the publisher sent me for taking part in the book tour. And oh my goodness, I love this book so much. This is a dark Sleeping Beauty retelling. It is sapphic. You follow the point of view of the wicked sorceress, and this kind of like origin story where she meets Aurora before Aurora is Sleeping Beauty, and they fall in love, and then you can see her path to villainy, and oh, it's so good. Cannot recommend this one enough, honestly. If you like your women morally great, you will like this. It is just incredible, and I cannot wait to read the sequel because my good god, the ending of this one was something else. So big thank you to Delray for including me in the tour and for sending me this gorgeous copy. I'm very, very grateful for them too. And next up is another book that you have definitely seen on my channel before, and that is Not My Problem by Kira Smith. So Kira sent me this one. It's one of her finished copies, and I am just so beyond grateful to have gotten to read this one early. If you don't already know, Kira is my favourite author of all time. This is her new book, and it is so good. I did a little video just dedicated to it if you want to know more of my thoughts, but oh, this is incredible. So this is a YA contemporary, and we follow a main character called Aideen, who's having a bit of a rough time in like all aspects of her life. When she gets roped into doing a favour for her nemesis, which is pushing her down the stairs, do not ask, this kind of sets her on this path of doing favours for everyone else in school, and she meets friends, and her nemesis maybe aren't so nemesis-y anymore. That's not a word, but I don't know how else to say that. So yes, you've got lovely lesbian main character and romance, and just such good like teen fun and humor and amazing characters. It's such a good time. I cannot recommend this one enough. And this is so special too because A, it is signed to me by Kira, and B, I'm in the acknowledgements. And oh, I'm just so grateful to have this and to have been able to read it early, and I just love it so much. I will never shut up about this. This is my pride and joy. Next up, Harper 360 have sent me some lovely arcs that are coming out this summer, so let's talk about them. So the first of these is The Unpopular Vote by Jasper Sanchez. So this is a YA contemporary, and I'm very excited to pick it up. So this follows a trans main character, and he's the son of a prominent politician who very much just denies his identity. And when at his school, one of the like front runners for student body president is a wildly bigoted asshole. He decides to run against him, and it's got like big politics and red, white, and royal blue vibes. And I'm very excited to pick it up myself. This is one of the ones I believe I featured in my Queer 2021 releases I want to read video, and I'm so excited to just have it in my hands now. It sounds so good. And can we talk about the benefit of ARCs, which is floppy paperbacks? But yes, very excited to have this. It just sounds so good. And this releases on the 1st of June in the States, I believe, but it's in July in the UK. And definitely look out for it and look out for my review. I will hopefully be reading it sometime soon. Next up is Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. This is another one I've been super anticipating. This is a YA rom-com with a trans main character. And so Noah runs this blog called the Meet Cute Diary, which is just full of trans happily ever afters. But when a troll exposes his blog is actually being fake and it's all the happily ever afters are made up, he ends up having to rope himself into a fake dating scheme to get a proper happily ever after for the blog. I've changed saying blog to vlog because I do YouTube, but now I can't say blog, so very sorry. But I'm beyond excited to read this one. It's actually just released in the US, so you can get it now, but it release is June in the UK, and I will be reading it very soon. And the final book from Harper 360 is Love and Other Natural Disasters by Misa Sugiura. And this is one of my most anticipated books of the year. I was so happy when I received this one. This is, oh, it's going to be such messy sapphic summer rom-com. There's fake dating, but real feelings, but like for the wrong person. And oh my god, it's gonna be so good. There's not actually a synopsis on the back, so I'm not completely fresh on what it is, but guys, fake dating but you fall in love with the wrong person, like I've never seen that. I'm so excited to read it, and look at all these sapphics just being sapphic on the cover, and so goddamn excited for this. And this one also comes out, I believe, the 1st of June in the States, but July in the UK, and I cannot wait to read it so much. I want to read it right now. And next up is just books that I have bought, and there are many. I'm not even going to say I need to go on a book buying ban because I don't want to, but I need to like cool it a bit on the book buying because it's getting a bit out of control. But first up, bookshops in Scotland reopened again, and how could I not go in and buy some books? I picked up these 4. I got 2 in Waterstones and 2 in WH Smith, and I've never really bought books in WH Smith because normally they've mainly got the best selection, but they had these 2 and I'm excited about them. So first up is The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reid. I actually read an arc of this one last summer and it is incredible. It's so good. I loved the writing style and like narrative style that the author chose to tell the story. It worked so well and it's really just stuck with me, and it's such an incredible, powerful story. This takes place in Los Angeles in 1992 during the Rodney King riots, and we follow a young black girl who is from quite a privileged family, quite a well-off family, and attends a almost entirely white school, and you kind of see her navigating her place in society and how much she belongs to both the black community as someone who is more wealthy and has parents kind of trying to like push her away from that but to give her the best opportunity, and how she absolutely just doesn't fit in with her white peers the same way. And when a boy in her school, a black boy, one of the very few ones, is accused of a crime, she very much just has to navigate this. And I love that you had this very personal story set against the big backdrop of the race riots, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is so good. And like the cover, I've been wanting to own this one because yes, I enjoyed the story, it's wonderful and everything, but the cover is just absolutely stunning. It's very happy to finally have it on my shelves, and I cannot recommend this one enough. Clearly I've actually remembered it from reading it last summer, which I cannot say for all of the books I've read that long ago. It's very good, definitely recommend. And next up was The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and believe it or not, I still haven't read this, and it's just ridiculous at this point. So when I saw it, I got it, I had to buy it, and I'm very excited to finally pick this one up because obviously it's very well known, very well loved, and I want to read it too. So if you don't already know, this very much deals with police brutality and racism in the United States, and it follows a main character called Star, who very much like with the Black Kids is kind of caught between two worlds as she lives in a bit of an upper class white neighborhood, but is also friends with and part of the black community in her town. And when she's witness to her best friend, an unarmed black man, being murdered by the police, she's very much just caught up in all of these debates and this movement, and I'm very excited to read it, and I cannot wait. And the film also looks incredible, and I've still not gotten around to watching that because I wanted to read this first, but very excited to pick it up. Next up is The Mermaid, the Witch and the Sea by Maggie Takuda Hall. So I was very surprised to find this in my local Waterstones because it's not a hugely well-known book, but also like my Waterstones is not the most diverse. It's actually funny because they've got their little table of the buy one get one half price where I got this, and that's where they put, you know, like all of their books by authors of color, all of their books with queer characters, and then you look at the shelves of the YA section, of which there are not many, and like it's so just straight white, you know, a lot of like older young adult books, and it's like I don't really want any of that. But Falling in Love montage was there. I convinced my friend to buy it. I'm very excited to see what she thinks. Our friendship is very much on the line. Anyway, The Mermaid, the Witch and the Sea. I cannot lie, I do not actually know a lot about this. I bought this purely because I know that it is sapphic and that there are gender fluid characters. I think the main character, and mermaids and witches and pirates, and I am very excited by this concept. And yeah, that's all I know. I do not usually buy books based purely on other people's words and the hype because I'm so picky, but just look at it. I needed it. But yes, very excited to read it. Cannot wait. I'm saying this about all of them, and I know that I'm not even going to be able to get to them for like a month because of so many June releases I need to read first, but know that I am excited and I am dying to read this. And finally from that little haul was Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. So I said in my books I want to read in 2021 video I wanted to finally pick up Elizabeth Acevedo, and here we are, finally did it. And I'm very excited. This is her newest book, I believe, and this is actually sapphic as well. So this is told in verse and it follows two sisters, one living in New York City and the other in the Dominican Republic. And when their father dies in a plane crash, they both kind of have to confront their father's secrets, their own grief and like acceptance and all that good stuff, and family and sisterhood and all of that. And I'm very excited to read it. I've heard the most incredible things about it and cannot wait to just pick it up for myself. Oh, I said that very weirdly, myself. Yes, God, I've just heard that this author has the most gorgeous, stunning writing, and all of her books interest me so much, and I'm very excited to read them all. And yes, just look at this gorgeous cover, the gorgeous writing within, cannot wait. Next up, I got Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, and I'm actually currently reading this. I'm halfway through. It's very good. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and I got the hardcover copy because I preferred the cover to the UK one. They have a different font and I don't like it. And I got this actually very excitingly from a queer bookshop in Scotland, which I didn't even know existed, but it does. It's based in Glasgow. It's called Category Is Books, and it's so good. I'm very much looking forward to going to Glasgow sometime this summer and visiting them in person. So yeah, shout out to them for existing, because I was not expecting to find a queer bookstore in Scotland. But yes, this is incredible. This is set in 1954 in San Francisco, and we follow a main character called Lily, and she is Chinese American, and we really navigate a lot of her identity as being Chinese and the daughter of immigrants, and also the Red Scare, which is happening at this time, and a lot of the suspicion placed on Chinese people and the kind of eagerness to deport them, as well as Lily discovering the lesbian bar scene and questioning her own sexuality and identity. And I am just enjoying this so much. I cannot wait to read more. I'm hoping I can just fly through the rest of it. It's so just good, and I'm loving all of the kind of history and context that you get to it, because although I knew that it was set here, I wasn't almost expecting so much history in it, which doesn't make any sense at all. Clearly I just wasn't thinking. But, you know, it's not just the lesbian bar scene, which is kind of almost how it's marketed. You get so much more of Lily's identity, and I love it so much so far. It's so good. Definitely recommend you pick this one up already. And next up I got Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I finally got it. This was quite difficult to find in the UK. It just sold out immediately, but I got it. It's mine. And I'm, again, so excited to pick this one up. This is a new adult contemporary. It's like a kind of coming-of-age novel. This follows Grace, who goes to Vegas to celebrate getting her PhD, and she's very, like, uptight and put together and knows what she's doing, and absolutely not the type to get drunkenly married to a stranger in Vegas, but she does. And when her life gets a bit difficult, she goes to New York to live with her lovely artist wife and to get to know her and fall in love with her for the summer. And I've heard the most incredible things about this one, and apparently it's going to be a bit of an emotional gut punch because it's going to hit really close to home in just so many things about growing up and pressures that are put on people and all of that, and I am very excited to read it. I've heard so many good things, all of the best things, and I just want to read it and love it so much. Cannot wait at all. And then next I got the Kingsmen and the Raven King, which are the second and third books to the All for the Game series, because I wanted to finally own them, because I'd owned the first book but none of the rest for quite a while because I read the ebooks, and I've just finished, literally like last night, my series reread of this via audiobook, and I love this series so much. It's genuinely one of my favorites, one of my, some of my favorite characters in here, and I'd forgotten how much I loved it until I read this third book especially. I've loved this reread so much, and these books have such a special place in my heart. I love them so much. So the Foxhole Court follows Neil Joston, who is on the run, and his like one true love in life is playing Exie, which is this kind of made up sport. It's this like bastardization of lacrosse with the violence of ice hockey. And when he's offered a place on a college team, he knows he shouldn't take it. He'll be in the spotlight, and it's not really what you want to do when you're on the run, but he's got nothing else to live for, so he does. And there's so many dramatics and the mob and found family and romance and all of it. It's a lot, but it's so damn good. There's so many lines I'd hear in the audiobook and I'd be like, oh my god, it's the best line. Just some very like key moments I love, and I've loved rereading this. I adore this series. This is my third time reading it. It's my fave. Next up, a lovely person on Twitter called Caitlin messaged me and was like, I spotted these books on your wish list and I've got them and I was going to get rid of them. Do you want them? And I said, yes, please, if you're willing to do that. And so she was lovely enough to send me these. So I've got Surrender Your Sons by Adam Sass and Who I Was With Her by Nita Tyndall. So just very, very grateful. Thank you very much, Caitlin, for sending these. So I have already read Who I Was With Her. I read in ARC last year, so I've been looking to get a finished copy because this story is just gorgeous and beautiful and lovely and heart-wrenching. So this follows Corinne, who has recently been kind of coming to terms with her bisexuality on her own, but keeping her relationship with another girl a secret. But when that girl suddenly tragically dies, we follow Corinne navigating her grief and this just having to deal with this in secret and navigating her own identity and accepting herself. And it's an absolutely gorgeous, stunning book. I really, really loved it, and I recommend it so much, and I'm very excited to finally have a finished copy of my own. It's just so gorgeous. And then the next one is Surrender Your Sons. So this sounds very, very cool. This is a thriller, and it's about a boy who is sent to a conversion therapy camp, and as very bad things start happening, I believe, like, in addition to the kind of expected for a camp like this, but that's obviously bad enough on its own. Connor and the other campers plan their great escape, but he's determined to bring the camp down and expose it for its crimes first. So yes, this sounds very good. I'm very excited to read it. I have been wanting to read more thrillers because I do quite enjoy them, but I don't pick them up very often. And this one just sounds very, very cool. And I'm very intrigued by it. I cannot lie. And finally, here's a stack of books that my friend Emily has sent me because she's an enabler. No, she was having an unhaul and she was like in the group chat, do you want any of these? And I'm like, yes I do. So I've got this wee stack. So the first one I've got is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, and I do not know a lot about this. I've got this purely based on hype because I've heard the most incredible, amazing things, and I've been really wanting to get back into fantasy, and I thought that, a nice duology that everyone loves seems like the perfect place to start. So yeah, I can be completely honest here that I do not know what to expect from this. I'm going to go into this basically completely blind, and I'm excited to see how that goes, but I know that it's so well loved and I just want to read it for myself and experience that. It sounds so good, and I'm not one to buy books based on hype or other people's opinions, but I'm trusting you with this one, so don't let me down. But the book itself, it does seem very, very good. I do vaguely know what it's about, but because it's so vague, I don't want to say because it could be completely wrong and embarrassing. Anyway, next up I have The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. So this is like Dracula's brides, and it's somehow sapphic, and it's historical fiction, and I'm very, very excited and very intrigued. And I would just like to take a moment to admire her. She's very pretty. And then we have the inside, which is also very, very pretty. Yes, again, I don't hugely know. I've just kind of got that little like tiny plot point, but it sounds good. I am a bitty worried about this though, because I have read from this author before. I read, ooh, it's got an orange cover. Oh, what's it called? The Girl of Ink and Stars. Thank you to also buy this author page. And I wasn't a huge fan. I did read this a few years ago, and I think it was a middle grade, just as I'd kind of gotten, you know, out of the middle grade age where it seems very babyish and childish to me, because I am a teenager now and I am reading young adult. But I'm excited to pick up this. I think it's YA and a standalone, and I'm just very, very excited. Next up, I've got People Like Us by Dana Melly. So this is a sapphic thriller, and I'm very, very intrigued. I added this to my TBR like years ago, and I can't entirely remember why. I can't remember the exact plot point, but I'm getting like boarding school and thriller and sapphic, and that's all I need to be into a book. I'm very, very intrigued. Yes, our main character has committed a crime and receives an anonymous email, I'm guessing, by the back of the book, basically saying, do what I want or I'll expose you. And apparently this gets like dark and it's messy sapphics, and I love that. So I'm just very excited to read this as well. I feel very repetitive, but there's a reason why I've purchased all of these books, and it's because I'm excited about them. And next up is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. So this is another YA fantasy. I'm trying to get back into fantasy, guys. Like, I'm forcing myself back into fantasy because so many amazing books have come out recently that I want to read. So this is the first in, I believe, a trilogy. And this is set in this kind of Western African inspired fantasy world. It's enemies to lovers, it's a magical competition. I am sold. I am very, very excited about this as well. I've heard so many amazing reviews. This has really just been so well loved since it released last year, and I'm very, very excited to read it and love it for myself. And again, can we admire the cover? Book covers recently have just been killing the game, and yes, I think I'm just gonna have to force myself to start reading fantasy again. Like, I read heaps of fantasy last month and I survived and enjoyed it, so I think I might be kind of back in the mood. So I can just have a fantasy marathon this summer and catch up, and very, very excited to pick this up as part of that. And finally, we have got Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. So this is the sequel to King of Scars. This is the last of the Grishaverse books, and I'm very excited to read this as well. I was planning on reading this immediately after finishing the show, but I have other things I need to read first, so it's gonna have to wait a little bit, which means I'm probably gonna forget everything that happened in King of Scars. Oops. But I am very, very excited to read this as well, and just to kind of conclude these books and be back with some of my favourite characters, because I adore the narrators from King of Scars. You've got Zoya, Nikolai and Nina, who are some of my favourites from like the whole world. So excited to be back with them and to kind of finish off the story and deal with my kind of like show hangover. Does that make sense? Because I did really enjoy the show, though of course, as has come to light, there have been various problems with it, so I just want to like state that as well. Like, I love the show, I'm very excited about it, I do hope it gets renewed, but some of what they have done in their diversity is pretty unforgiving, such as putting Amita's stunt double, Amita who plays Inej, her stunt double in brownface, and it's just gross. Yes, I do want it to get renewed because I want these actors like Amita to get another chance and to be able to, you know, grow their careers, but I want more diversity behind the camera. But yes, very excited to continue with this series, and cannot wait. And yes, that has been this haul. I hope that you have enjoyed. I have certainly enjoyed buying these, and look forward to reading all the ones I've not yet read. I should say that there will be reviews for the arcs, and the ones I've already read, the review copies, and some of the other earlier ones, I do have reviews that will be linked down below with all the Goodreads links for all of these books in case my rambly, half-formed descriptions have interested you in any of them. And yeah, if you want to see more of me, you can find links to my social media down below, and if you want to support me, I have got a bookshop affiliate link, so you can do some book shopping of your own and support independent bookstores and the environment as well. And yes, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you with another video soon.